On that episode, apparently everyone was sitting on the sofa and there was like a lot of confrontations between the queens, and it was like a big drama moment, but they cut it all out in the episode.
Oh, that was so good.
What happened?
That
Like,
was
can you tell us a
so
bit about what
good.
happened?
I received a text message, not one, but like 1,000, that Mr. Fake ass Josh Seiter is alive. Now, I swear to you, everything in my body went so numb because I instantly knew I'm caught up in a scandal. And I have these text messages because the blogger that helped him basically felt sorry and apologized to me and sent me all the text message of them two conversating about me. Okay. Yes. I've been holding on to this for a year. For a year. And what he says in these messages are so disgusting.
Were you involved in any of the arguments, or were you just kind of like having your popcorn and just watching?
Oh, wait, it all came back to me. We were talking about why we eliminated each other. And I felt really bad because I started attacking James Mansfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Um, to be honest, there's a lot of girls, right? And it's always one girl that the judges absolutely love, and that girl's not always up to par, look wise, not saying nothing. And that can, that gets to you. That's kind of irritating. And when people are like constantly on, and but also too, to me now, I love James. I think James is amazing. But I didn't really know nothing of James until I walked into the workroom. Of course, I seen her. I know the episode season she was on, but I never sat down and actually watched the full season. So for me, it was very, and plus I didn't think I had something against James because then James got into try to come for Kahana in the first episode. Kahana's my good Judy. So I already had my bad taste in my mouth over that. And then I felt really bad because James turns around. He was like, at the last finale, she says, I didn't vote for you. So I felt so bad. I was just like, oh, I really thought that, you are a little shady little, but you're not. So I had to sit there and be like, getting to know you now, I like you, but I do apologize that I was kind of rude to you. I felt kind of bad. And also you're under that pressure. So it's just like, I can't pick on this person, so I might as well go pick on that person. Just one of those scenarios, or you nitpick every single thing that happens. So no, I'm saying it was basically when we came back, they sat us down. It was nothing but a bunch of why you sent me home, what was the reasoning, what, yada yada yada. And then, of course, that's when Candy and this girl got into it because I guess Candy's the one who sent her home. I don't know, it was something like that. But I just remember she's like, "You set me up," and we're all like, "What's going on? What?" Yeah, because I guess people were having packs or were trying to have packs and it wasn't happening. And yeah, it was pretty messy, but they didn't show any of it. They instead showed what happened afterwards. What happened afterwards is that they split us up because we had to do rehearsals for the finale. And then they had us bring out those stupid cards out of the pink little box. Mind you, they had the pink box there before. So we're all like, oh my God, it's going to be a fiasco. They're going to be asking us questions. They want us to fight, basically. So sure enough, no, we argued there for a moment and then they split us up and it was pretty much, that was it.
Yeah,
But
it
they
was
didn't
weird.
air
It was
any of it.
weird that no, that like they did that was sounds like a really dramatic moment and they didn't show it. I don't know. Do you think there was a reason for that? Is it because it would have made them look bad, or it would have like? Do you think there was a reason why they didn't show it?
I'm gonna be honest, it was bad. Now thinking about it, it was a lot of cursing and a lot of like people saying stuff, and you know, and then the thing was, I felt kind of bad for Candy because I'm like, here she is in the finale, and then like y'all are trying to put her. I felt like Alexis was trying to put her in a moment that she wasn't trying to have. It's like, girl, I've been doing good, leave me alone. But all of a sudden, it was just like guns blazing at Candy, and it was just like, where the hell did that come from? Like, well, she wants, you're in the finale. She wants that spot. So now she's going to come for you because, she's a returning queen now. So she's only doing what, you know, she's taking up that camera time. So
Yeah, and I'm sure obviously looking back on it, I'm sure you said you obviously like felt bad afterwards and realized that maybe you say things on camera and you realize afterwards like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sure you're all fine with everyone now and like it's probably all good, I would imagine now.
Yeah, I mean, of course, me and Aisha had a little thing in the media about her voting against me and then her telling me she didn't, and then she said she didn't. I don't care about that anymore. It happened, whatever. I don't care. But I made a promise to myself that I don't want to take any of that stuff, any of that drama with me. It is what it is. It happened. All Stars, if I could sum it up in one word, it's messy. That was my experience. I don't know about anybody else's, but yeah,
So
the nation
obviously
knows it all.
it wouldn't. She does. Yeah, no, she's very entertaining. So in terms of obviously, so yeah, that episode that you came back, it was very messy. But one of the good things to come from it was obviously your performance of "Not a Soul Can Clock."
Not a soaking clock. Yes, Monica. Not a soaking clock. Not a soaking clock.
I was just that is such an iconic moment. Like that song is stuck in my head forever. I was wondering what if you could tell us a bit about what led to you coming up with that idea and then also the reaction that happened to it after it came out.
Well, that is the help of my good Judy Marie and then my daughter, Abby. Abby basically, I told her what I wanted. And we were just talking about, I wanted to talk about me and my story, when I first came out doing sex work and how I ended up in drag, yada, yada, yada. But it was basically three of us coming together and like, trying to make sure we tell the story. The song itself was not my favorite, to be honest. It was not my favorite. First of all, I don't like to hear myself sing. I'm not a singer. So that was new for me. But I don't know, watching it back now, I'm like, it definitely was one of those things was like, wow, I guess it was great. Because when I first wasn't confident doing it, but my girlfriend was like, Marie, she was like, this is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. And we literally shot it in what, 2 days in her basement with her boyfriend that is a music teacher. So it was very, very, very that. My intent was just to do it and be done with it just for the show. But yeah, but I had mixed messages about it too when it first came out and I seen it. I think I let the internet get in my head a little bit too much because 1 hour I hated it. The next hour was everywhere and it was viral. So it was just like I like it. It maybe it is that good. Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere now. So I mean, it's not going back from it.
It was such an iconic song. I remember watching because I think the thing that people were confused about because obviously it's called "Not a Soul Can Clock," but
Clock.
when
Mhm.
I watched it, I will be honest, I didn't quite know what you were saying, and I thought you were saying you've got to soak and clock, and then people were saying about a soaking clock, like a clock that's in war. Like, and I remember that was the bit that everyone was kind of like laughing with you, but not at you. Like, it was more like just like it was a funny thing. But I remember at the beginning you did have a slight like negative reaction to it, and you weren't very happy, and you were kind of not. You didn't like appreciate people saying that, and then after a while, I think you saw the funny side of it, and you then changed your opinion.
Yeah, to be honest, going back to Drag Race, the fans are insane. I'm gonna say it now, I'm gonna say here. Season 5, yeah, they were what they were, but the internet was not what it is now. So I'm gonna just put it out like that. You really don't usually only deal with the fans in season 5 is when you see them. You're not on the internet. Now, oh my God, they're like insane to me. And it was just nothing but for me, it was like every episode and everything was just always something negative about me, or this, or that, and that. All that starts to like pile up on you. It's just like, okay, I don't want to hear no more negativity. And then you see memes, and this is like, I just felt like the whole world was just laughing at me. Like Drag Race was like a big old, just like a big old joke. I went on there just because I felt cute and I felt my when I really, at the time, really believed in my package. So I guess seeing what people said on the internet and like I literally had to turn my phone off. I was traveling. I was in the airplane. I literally turned my phone off because I was crying on the airplane because I was just so fed up and so tired. And then right when I land, I turn my phone on and my phone is going ballistic. Like, but I've never had that happen to me before. I'm like, well, besides Josh Seiter. Um, God. Yeah, so I remember answering like so many emails of like people writing to me saying how much they love my stand on Drag Race and that I should win the Fame Games. And then that's when I was really like, oh my God, I might have a chance to win the Fame Games because that was really, really good. But of course, I gave it to somebody else, which is fine. I mean, I love Lala. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was something that I liked it at first because it was telling the story of not just me being a trans woman coming up, but being told the story of so many trans women of color that I watched, and them investing in me and my transition and teaching me the way and teaching me, life skills. So for me, it was like a homage. How you say homage? Homage?
Homage.
Homage, an homage to the trans individuals that I have lost and the ones that are still here that paved the way for me to do what I do so well. So glad that that message wasn't lost, So because a lot of the trans community understood the message, especially trans women of color understood the message, and for me, that made me more happy than anything. I wasn't really, and I hate to make this sound rude, but it's the truth. I wasn't worried about the rest of the community. I was really worried about my tea, the tea part of the community, because I feel like there's not enough love or not enough stuff that we should be talking about, or like you say, paying homage to the formers that are no longer here. So I'm happy that they allowed me to do what I do, and also to Drag Race are not dumb, so they knew that that was going to be that fabulous. You know what I'm saying? So it's like because to me, yeah, you can think whatever you want. We have our things about Drag Race, but there's a bunch of amazing individuals on there that know what they're doing. Not all of them. I got a few words for some of them, but a lot of them are amazing, and truly do believe in you and what you're bringing to the table. Because I didn't even think we were coming back because that was never said in the beginning. And I was confused because when I walked in, I was already reading the girls in my mind. Because I'm like, we have to do the reading challenge and then we're going to do the talent show. So I was prepared for both. So when it didn't happen, I was like, okay, I'm really throwing off what's happening here. But then they bring us back to have the talent show. So I was like, oh, okay.
No,
They said
I
here,
loved the talent show. I thought it was so good. Your song was amazing. Like it was so catchy. So in terms of obviously, because I think the thing that people found funny about it was that maybe people didn't quite know if you were saying not a soul can clock, a soaking clock. Like that was like, but what was the message of not a soul can clock? Can you just explain exactly what made you choose that as the chorus?
yeah, well, I mean, when I can speak for trans woman, hits her, a place where she feels fabulous, she feels gorgeous, she feels like no matter what you say about her, she's gonna be that girl. Call me what you may, but not a soul can clock me. And that means I'm fabulous in every which way you think I am, I am. You know what I'm saying? You think I'm a transgender woman and that's all I am. You can never clock me. I'm fabulous. It's just back in the day, not a token clock means passability, point blank, period. Nobody's clocking your T. Nobody's clocking that you used to be they, them, or whatever, whatever you were back in the day. So, but having to make sure that we didn't just, made it all about that, about passing, because I think nowadays passability is so different. I think trans women and gender non-confirming and non-binary people are so different as before, with a lot of the same look. Everybody took hormones, everybody went to the same silicone doctor, everybody had the same nose, it was that aesthetic that all the older trans women had. Now it's different,
I just think it was just such an interesting song, and I think it was just the fact that you looked amazing. No one really knew
I
exactly
look
what you were
good.
saying, like, but you looked amazing. Like it was just there was so much going on, and like you kind of looked like you didn't like because you said you didn't really like the song, and I think you in the episode you said you didn't really like this, or you kind of got the impression that you didn't feel that confident about the song. But I thought you sold it really well. You looked amazing, but no one could understand what you were saying. It was so much so good. It was so good. I had it in my head for days. I could not get it out of my head.
I mean, I loved it because I was even watching the new All Stars, and I'm getting bombarded by them using Not a Soaking Clock a couple of times. So I'm like, oh, where's my chat?
It's such a I love it. It's such a good song. It's so good. I'm so glad you've got like, although at the beginning you did had a little bit of negativity from it, but I'm glad that you saw like the
Yeah,
funny side of it, and then you got the love that you deserved from it because it was such an iconic moment. So I'm glad you've got that memory from All Stars 8.
and definitely, and I look great.
You
I
did.
look
You did.
great.
You did. You
I
really
said, I don't even care what people are saying, and it's going everywhere, but I look hot. Even the comments are saying it, so I'm okay with that.
Oh, you really did. You looked amazing. Like you looked so good. I think that's what people were focusing on. It was like you were just serving it. So it was so good, it was so good. So yeah, that obviously that was your run on Drag Race because you didn't unfortunately have that long on All Stars 8. But I'm glad you had that like really iconic moment that everyone now remembers. Obviously, the name of my channel is Drag Tea Served. So I was wondering if there's anything else, and is there any other tea that you maybe from one of your seasons, like something that happened that you wish had been shown, or something that happened backstage, or so, can you spill us some drag tea from either of your seasons?
Oh, All Stars 8, I wish they would have showed the beginning. Basically, James was trying to come for Kahana, and I intervened, and then me and James kind of got into it. It was just like really weird, but like a first weird encounter because we're all getting ready for like the runway and stuff like that. And I just remember to myself like this is about to get really, really, really messy. Um, but yeah, that was the only part from All Stars 8 I can remember. Season 5, they showed everything. I think they showed more in season 5 what they did at All Stars 8, to be completely honest. Watching it back now, I only watched the first season because I mean the first episode because I was on it, duh. And then the last two episodes, which was the finale. And a couple of episodes in between, but it's just I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Heidi left, and she was such a huge asset to see All Stars 8, I felt like, and having her leave, I felt like was extremely messy. And then, I don't know, I felt like instead of them just sending us home early, they could have kept us like they did the previous All Stars. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, they're gonna keep us all. This is actually gonna be great because we really get to like show all our looks. We get to like really get down and dirty and like, fight for charity. It was just so many things going through my mind at that time. But yeah.
So you mentioned there was you intervened in like a because James was coming for Kahana. What can you remember what that was about?
I think it was about because they both lived in Vegas.
Right.
So she was like, I'm gonna show Vegas how you really do drag or something like that. And she was
Right.
coming at Kahana or whatever. And then Kahana came back at her, and then I was just like, that's when I was like, beep, 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 beep. Like
I
go
mean,
somewhere. It was very that.
yeah, I wish they had shown some stuff like that on camera, but I guess there's only so much they can show, and it was already a messy season, so maybe they didn't want to add to the mess. So I'd love to move on to my subscriber questions, if that's okay. So
Uh-huh.
speaking of messy, one of the questions that I maybe you can guess, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, that came up a lot. And so, for example, one of my Patreon members actually said this, but there were so many comments asking about this question, was if you could talk about Josh Seiter, your ex. So just to explain for anyone who doesn't know, I did actually talk about this in one of my videos. So you were briefly dating this guy called Josh Seiter who was on The Bachelor, and there was like he's done a bunch of stuff, but he like at one point he faked his own death, and then after you broke up, he said he was trans, but then and for months he was like dressing as a trans, like supposedly, and then he came out as like saying it was all an experiment. And he started saying all this like really anti-trans stuff. So that's in a nutshell what happened. But I was wondering if you could tell us about how you met him, like your relationship and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay. I met Josh Scheider years ago in Chicago when he used to go dance at the gay clubs. And he was messy. He would always get drunk. I mean, he's hot, of course. I mean, he was hot. He ain't hot anymore. He was hot at that time. And of course, all the girls go Google Gaga over him and the gay guys and whatever. I didn't And that's when I was still living here in Chicago before I went to Kentucky. Okay, mind you. Go to Kentucky, come back years later, I'm on Drag Race. I don't know nothing about him. Nada, smack, whatever. All Stars 8 come. I got an All Stars 8. Next thing you know, I would leave comments on his pictures because we were friends on Instagram. So he would post, the thirst traps, and I'd be like, oh, googly eyes or whatever, like you're hot. And he would put like flames on it, just stupid stuff like that. It wasn't until All Stars 8 and the whole success of Not a Soul Can Clock is where Mr. whatever he is himself came knocking in my inbox. So now he reaches out to me and oh, that's how he started. I have all the messages. I can send you that too. He texted me, he sent in my inbox, he's like, how come you unfriended me? Because I forgot I unfriended a whole bunch of people. So I guess I unfriended him. He's like, why did you unfriend me? And I was like, what? And I forgot what I said, but anyway, it came down to him asking me out for dinner. At this time, I'm currently in LA recording Not a Soaking Clock Part 2. Yes. Okay. So of course I'm like, this is insane to me. The success of Drag Race, I'm doing great things. I got collaborations. I'm everywhere. Now this hot guy that I liked is in my inbox, he's asking me out. Like the universe is on my side. I love this. So now I'm in LA. We shoot text messages back and forth because I was at dinner with producers and stuff like that and doing meetings. So we just shoot the shit back and forth. It wasn't until I got back to Chicago and now we're ready to go on the date. Mind you, I just flew back. I'm a little tired. I'm exhausted. I text him and I say, I don't think we should do today. We should reschedule. He's like, please, 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 please. I got a surprise for you. Yada, yada, yada. I would love to see you. It'll be quick. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. So we go to dinner. He brings me these beautiful pink roses, pink and red roses. He looked great. He looked really, really great. He looked hot, to be honest. So we're just sitting here having a conversation, whatever, whatever. Everything was fine. He walks me by my house. I didn't let him know where I lived because I don't play that. So I had him drop me off like the other side and end up walking around the alley to go to my apartment. So we sit there, we're just talking, whatever. He's like, let's take a picture. It's the second picture now. Mind you, we take a picture in the restaurant. And I'm one of those girls, if I'm talking to a guy, I don't post guys. Like, I don't do that. It's not my thing. It never has been my thing. I don't like people in my business like that. So I don't post this picture now, okay? I don't. I'm walking to my house and I'm just relaxing, whatever. And my girlfriend calls me. She's like, oh my God, you and Josh look so good. I'm like, were you at the restaurant? She's like, no, girl, it's on his Instagram. I'm like, what? Yes. So I go to the Instagram and literally there's a picture already in his story. I'm like, ew, gross, first of all. Like, you didn't even ask me, you know? So now he's texting me. He's like, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about you, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then that's when I was like, okay, well, fine. Since he already posted his picture, I'm going to post my picture. And that's where the story begins. I post a picture of Josh, and immediately a day later, I am flooded. I mean, flooded with inboxes of people telling me about this man. And now I'm like, first of all, I've had this happen to me before where I've dated a guy and people are like, girl, don't date him. He has 4 babies, just that. So I'm like, I never ever take people's word. I'd rather people show me, what they're capable or whatever. The benefit is out. So mind you, the second date is his birthday. So I buy tickets to a magic show, which is like a couple of blocks down from my house. And we go to the magic show, and that's the first time we kissed, was there at the magic show. That was his birthday. He got extremely intoxicated. It was just really, really weird. Now, mind you, I post these pictures, and now more people are coming at me. Now I'm starting to get videos of him doing stuff like years ago, race comments and all this kind of stuff. So I, of course, confront him because I'm like, all these people are in my inbox. Like, what is really going on? I'm going to rewind real back. When I'm sitting there the first time we met in person, I go to him. I said, because I said, I Googled you. He said, what? I said, I Googled you. And there's a lot of articles about you. He's blatantly looked in my face and told me I put on my own stories just for the publicity. I said, what? But that's nothing new to me because I work in the entertainment business. I see people doing all kind of stunt stuff. But these many articles, like just last week, you was like bisexual and married to a man. I saw on the internet. So like, what's really going on? Because I'm really confused. So he told me that whatever, didn't pay no mind to it. Um, Now, though that was the third day, the birthday. The second day, I'm performing at Roscoe's, not a Stoken Clock. He comes there. I invite him to come there. This is where stuff starts to get really funny because now first of all, I'm running a little bit late. So I'm trying to get everything together to go on stage. He's hounding me to take a picture with him. So, like, I was in the moment. So I got angry. I'm just like, would you go over there for 2 seconds? Like, I'm trying to get ready to go on stage and you're like haunting me for a picture. Like, what do you do with his shirt off? So already this is kind of like throwing me off. And my best friend, the photographer, Nestor, he's there with me. And because he's filming all of this stuff. And he's like, something ain't right with him. Something ain't right with him. And Nestor goes to me, he's trying to take your clout. And I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, he's trying to be seen. I'm the hot right now. Why wouldn't he? So it wasn't until he leaves, he records me performing, and then he leaves. I speak to him for like 2 days. Next thing you know, we go out for his birthday, and then I have show that weekend. Okay, this is where the shit starts to hit the fan. This is literally a span of like 3 weeks. Okay, really crazy. So I'm at a show Sunday at brunch in the morning, and I'm sending him photos of how I look in my outfits and stuff like that. Because I was doing his favorite song, Beyonce, that I had performed at Roscoe's that he likes. So we're shooting the shit back and forth. He texts me. It's so crazy that they don't have any more articles about us. I said, what? I said, well, maybe we should release a sex tape if you want an article out. Just like that, I said. And it was something I didn't really think of, like in my mind, because of course, I was drinking and I'm at the show, whatever, whatever, whatever. Now I come home and it's a couple of days, and I'm like, well, I didn't speak to him Sunday. I spoke to him, didn't speak to him at all Monday. That Tuesday, I'm like, when are we going to see each other? We hardly even talk. You don't ever call me. It's always a text message, yada, yada, yada. He has an attitude with me. He's like, I'm a very busy person and whatever, whatever, whatever. So I'm like, okay, fine. If that's how it's going to be, that's how it's going to be. So I don't even talk to him. As a matter of fact, I erased the number out of my phone so I don't have to call it, And then I muted his stories on his Instagram so I don't have to deal with it. Next thing you know, a couple of days passed, I get a text message. And the text message basically goes, you've been amazing. You're such a wonderful person. I think we should remain friends. Something about his grandfather dying. He has to go somewhere to go visit the grandfather. Okay. So I'm like, no problem. Actually, I agree. So I start to write this stuff. I'm blocked. He unblocked. He basically wrote me a message, then blocked me not to get the response. Okay. So now I'm like, what the was that about? So then I'm like, okay, like I'm so baffled. What's going on? I pay no mind to it. Yada yada yada. Like nothing happened. I'm like, okay, fine. We're not together. We're not doing whatever. But then I see his Instagram, or a fan sent it to me, that he's out on dinner with some girl, basically having dinner with some girl. So I'm like, okay, I'm a very smart girl. When men do stuff like that, it's so they want a reaction. He's not getting a reaction out of me. I don't care what he's with. She could have him. Because in the 3 weeks I've known him, my mind has never been so dumbfounded and like lost. And the that he says, because he says stuff and I realize that he just told me something and then the next day it's something else. So I'm just like, no. Then I have a collaboration with a dentist to get my teeth fixed. That's what I have right now. So I'm shooting this collaboration Okay. It's the day before the collaboration. This is when everybody finds out, and I found out that he's dead, supposedly. Okay. After he broke up, after he sent me the text, he blocks me. He was with the girl, then all of a sudden he was gone, dead. So I'm just like, is really going on? Like, I was devastated, to be honest. And I was only more devastated because here I am with a person that were in literally the last days of their lives. So for me, that weirded me out. Like, oh my God, it does make sense because the guy really is not all there in the head. I mean, I'm not there all in the head sometimes, and I can admit that, but there's something really wrong with this guy. And sure enough, um, I saw the article. I was devastated. I posted what I posted. I'm shooting the next day. I'm shooting the collaboration with Impress Dental, and we're done filming. As I'm coming out the place, because they're shooting me coming out the place, I receive a text message, not one, but like 1,000, that Mr. Fake ass Josh Seiter is alive. Now, I swear to you, everything in my body went so numb because I instantly knew I'm caught up in a scandal. I'm caught up in the scandal, and there is no way, no way this is not planned. You cannot tell me it's not. So now I come back home. I'm like in the car, basically vomiting because I'm so sick. The day before I found out he's dead, the next day I found out he's alive, and they hacked his Instagram. So I am infuriated. I am the off because I'm like, here we go with this. Here we go with everything that everybody was sending me, and every doubt that I was trying to not have is happening right now. So my photographer was just like, calm down, it's gonna be okay. Like, we knew he was some type of stunt queen. No. Now I'm getting bombarded by nasty messages from people from Instagram thinking I have something to do with this. Talking about that. Here I am trying to hold on to my success from Drag Race and whoopty woo. In the meantime, I'm doing interviews because, of course, people are like reaching out to me trying to find out what's going on. And at first, I don't want to talk, but then I have management too that are like, you need to talk. And I also felt like I need to say something. Do I regret saying that he did this? No. To this day, I still think he did. And there's nothing, nobody can tell me that he did it because he did. It's what happens afterwards. It's him basically denying that we ever dated, which was the stupidest move ever after you don't post it out to the whole entire world. Then calling me they, them, when you gotta know exactly who I am, first and foremost. That was another thing that really upset me. And Josh knew a lot of stuff in the little time that we were together, because we would have our talks, like when we would meet. And, we always talk about family and just stuff that people really know about. So Josh knew that I suffered from depression and all that. And I take medication for that. I have no problem saying that. I've been taking medication for the last 3 years for anxiety and depression. So he tried basically to do everything I told him that I had been through with other men, like men denying me or men, just doing stupid stuff to me. Basically, it was done. And then going on tours, saying that he was never with me and whatever. And then a couple of days later, I receive a text message from Mr. Seiter himself. Okay, that basically says, and I can send you all this if you want it. If you want to have proof or whatever, you can keep it. I don't care. Because I'm already fed up. I'm like, so want this to be done with, and for people can really see what was going on. He writes to me and tells me that the reason why he denied me is because I basically told everybody that he made that up, but that he cannot stop thinking about me, that his whole world is upside down now, and that I should give him a second chance. That I knew deep down inside that the 3 times that we hung out in person, that we were great, that it was great. And he's like, I'm not trying to keep it with nobody knowing because you're trans. It's just because nobody's relationship works out in entertainment. You should know that, or some stupid stuff like that. So I'm like, little does he know, I was already dating somebody else. So I didn't really care. So I was like, I would never go out with you. You're a psycho. I don't ever want to deal with you. So I didn't really reply. And it was done. Basically, he went on, and I never heard from Mr. Seiter for a while until a couple of months ago when I come to find out that he's everywhere and he and transgender. And yeah, I was taken back. I really was. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack in that story, but it sounds like, yeah, like you. I remember I did a video about it, and it was just after the whole, like, you breaking up and him denying that you were together, and all that sort of stuff before the trans stuff happened. And I remember him, like, yeah, basically saying you didn't date, and he had like faked his death, but then said that his Instagram was hacked or something like that. In terms of after that, so quite a while after you broke up and everything, he then started dressing, I guess, saying he was trans, like, and he was doing all this like videos and stuff. And then later on, he said it was months long. He was doing this like social experiment, and he basically came out with all
Yeah.
this like anti-trans stuff, and he did a podcast about it. How did that make you feel as someone obviously trans yourself who used to date him?
I felt bad for everybody else, to be honest. And the trans community itself, not so much for me because I already know that he's a piece of shit anyway. And what he's doing is in the trans community, I'm gonna be completely honest. There's a specific guy that we always talk about. It's the guy that loves you behind closed doors, that can't be without you closed doors, that lusts trans women behind closed doors. Josh happens to be one of those people. Okay. Josh don't even know who he is from today to tomorrow. Because come to find out, a little while ago, I just saw that now he came out as a black man. Yeah. I didn't believe at all that he was trans at all. I did not believe none of it. But then again, I'm like, I'm not going to continue to feed into that because I'm going to get sucked right back into this. And then it's gonna get nasty because now I'm going to reveal everything and now everybody's going to see. Then it wasn't until I saw my girlfriend send it to me, actually, is where he came out and said that he wasn't trans, that he was just doing an experiment. It pissed me off. It pissed me off to no sense. It's like, here you go again. Not only that, this whole campaign of this freaking voting stuff has been nothing but just rhetoric, anti-rhetoric against trans individuals. Here you go now, trying to get on the bandwagon. After you did all this, I don't understand why you think that those people think that you're amazing and what you did is amazing. No, they're milking everything they can from you, but you look absolutely ridiculous doing what you're doing. And what I can't understand is that people actually feed into this. His Twitter. I was thinking of my girlfriend. I'm like, people actually worship this guy. Actually give him props for what he's doing. And to sit there and go and say that all us trans individuals are just men playing dress up, stop playing with me. Because let me tell you something. You can write all you want on the internet, but I guarantee you, if I was to see you face to face, that would never come out your mouth. It wouldn't. Because that's the type of man that you are. You can do everything in front of these cameras. You can get all the likes that you want. But let's have a conversation. Let's sit down face to face. You will never have it done. Why? Because you're a coward. You're a coward. You are a coward.
Do you think
I know
that
what's.
the whole dating you thing, do you think all of it was for clout?
Oh, I know, because I have the receipts. Because guess what? Josh is a messy little. Okay, that's what he is. I'm gonna call him a bitch because that's what he is. He had somebody else help him find me. Okay, and I have these text messages because the blogger that helped him basically felt sorry and apologized to me and sent me all the text message of them two conversating about me. Okay. Yes, I've been holding on to this for a year. For a year. And what he says in these messages are so disgusting, make my stomach turn talking about I don't know if I can go through with this because I heard all trans women have HIV and AIDS. I don't want to kiss her and catch this and catch that. I would never make out with a dude. I'd rather get paid $1 million to get in my ass. Oh, honey, I have all these text messages, okay? All of them. Yeah. I wasn't bothered about the whole thing, but when I saw that, that bothered me. I said, that is so scary because a lot of trans women of color put themselves in this scenario and don't walk out alive and stuff like this. Meeting people that absolutely hate them. So you tell me the whole entire time I'm across this man. This man thinks I have HIV and I'm dying of AIDS and he hates me and he has all this hatred towards me. And I'm sitting in front of this man. Like, it's insane to me. And yeah, yep. I was actually reading them a couple of days ago because I'm like, should I send you these? I think I should because you know what? It's for people to understand truly what was going on and for me to keep my mouth closed for the last year and having to deal with this trauma by myself and with my friends it has been nothing easy. Still seeing a man that literally up a lot in your life mentally just play on the internet for and giggles and likes. And the thing that people actually believe this stuff. People like this stuff. It's just like it's insane to me. And now he's a black man named Javante. It's like, I can't make it up. I'm telling you, I'm just like, this is insane. And I'm not here to call people crazy and do stuff like that. But that scenario is crazy. It could be a Lifetime movie. Okay. Because it's not stopped. It still hasn't even stopped. Because now look at, do you know what I'm saying? And then it's crazy to me. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it anymore.
I'm so
But yeah,
sorry that you had that. Like to hear that he was like planning it and like, well, if you want to send those text messages, I'm happy to like put them on screen. People can read them. It's obviously your choice if you want to do
oh
that.
yes.
No,
Hmm.
that is like that is disgusting. Like I'm so sorry that you had that experience. That's awful. I mean,
Yeah,
I knew there was probably something going on there, but I didn't quite realize it was that. So that's quite shocking to hear. Well, I'm hoping
yeah.
that this is kind of you've talked about, but I hope like maybe it's kind of like drawing the line a little bit now of like that's you've talked about and like sort of you can be done with him because you don't want anything to do with like that side of it and like
Oh no, the only let me tell you something. I'm a girl born and raised in Chicago. Okay. I am Chicago, I'll tell you that much. I know everybody in Chicago. Okay. I have family that are in law enforcement. I know a lot of people. And so the day he can sit me face to face and have a conversation with me, that'll be the day. Until then, I don't care a rat's ass about him. He can go keep tweeting and doing whatever he's doing. And tomorrow he might be somebody else. To be honest, to me, sometimes I feel like he has multiple personalities, but no, it's not that. He's a clout chaser. He's addicted to the fame. Okay, and I should have known better because he was the first one to be eliminated on The Bachelorette. If she didn't want his ass, what made you think that he was gonna be any good for me? And then I said to myself, to my girlfriend, I said, you know what's really happening here? Every girl he has been with ever since is paying the price for what she did to him. Because his ego is so big and that man is full of himself that he can't take a woman telling him no. Okay. Even the arguments we had over the thing, and I'm just like, bye. Like, to be totally honest, too, like, I didn't even have to subscribe to the OnlyFans. The fans don't send it to me. And by what I saw, baby, ain't nothing much there for me to hang on to anyway. So, yeah, there was nothing for me to be like, oh my God, I miss you. No, bye. I want nothing to do with you. And I thought he was gone and he was good. I did not see none of that trans stuff, to be honest, till like a couple of months ago, where I was just like, what? Now he's trans. And then I was like, okay. At first, there was a little inch. I'm like, maybe he is, because every girl he's dated, he's hurt them mentally. Because I got when this whole thing happened, him passing away and then him denying me in the public and whatever, whatever. I had, but just about every girl that has been a 90 Day Fiance that he's tried to holler at reach out to me about this guy. I had people who have done interviews with him that can tell you about this guy. And I'm just like, do you ever know, like, say, with the UFO stuff, you get so intrigued to go down to a rabbit hole in it, like, so bad, like, everything's about UFO. I swear to you, I was like 3 days, sick to I even lost weight down this rabbit hole of Josh Seiter and everything that he has done. From the gay marriage to the OnlyFans to everything, to Gypsy Rose. I didn't even know about none of that stuff. I'm just like, what is really going on with this man? And now he's back. But I'm just
Well,
happy that he finally admitted to everybody that he dated me. Because I'll tell you one thing. Like when I got into an argument with somebody, and they were like, "You were trying to like hold on to your clout." I said, "Not to toot my own horn, honey. Okay, I'm a great looking woman. First of all, there's plenty of men in my inbox with blue check marks, with lots of money, and look great. You think I would go toward Josh Seiter to get clout versus them? And these are movie producers and all this other stuff. No, you got me twisted. It is not that. He came looking for me. That's what happens. So,
my gosh, like you said, it's like a lifetime movie. It's like, but like insane. Like, I'm so sorry you had that experience. That's insane.
yep. And even the I guess he did a documentary with Daily Wire where he thought it was. Well, come to find out, the people who he let in his house were documentary people, but they're people who basically putting out bigots. And I'm glad though that they did that because they reached out to me and let me know what was going on after it happened. Because I was just like, that's when I found out he was a black guy now named Javante. He's come out as a black guy named Javante.
I mean, the less said about him and that side of it, the better. Because I don't know
Yeah.
the guy. Just I know what I see on social media, and I was so confused. But I was more thinking about you in this scenario, like how much it affects you, because he obviously has his own thing going on and whatever. But like those sorts of people. I feel sorry for the people like you that get caught up in this mess, and it's like you're the one then
Ah,
left. That's the people I feel sorry for in this scenario.
yeah.
So
And I try not to like this fixate on that because I'm like, at the end of the day, it was a lesson learned. But had that be anybody else that's not as strong as I am, that was mentally torturing. And then not even to like, what's next? Because I was sitting there after that, I was like, what's next? He's not done. And he wasn't done. Because then a whole year later, now he's trans. And now this is all happening. And now it's an experiment. And trans people are just men dressing up. It's just, it's like
well,
you need to
no,
understand.
I'm really sorry you've had that experience, but yeah. Let's just we'll close let's not talk about that man anymore
No, that's
because
good.
but thank you for like clarifying because I don't you haven't necessarily spoken as much about it and like to know the full story is like insane. I'm sure lots of people will be really interested in hearing. I know
Oh
in the
yeah.
comments everyone was
Because
asking about it.
yeah, and I feel bad because sometimes it's like, you know what, yeah, I can like go and just tell and say whatever underneath the comments, but it's like no, it's just like the right time will come about and the story will be told, the real side of the story, and people will see that this person is just like needs help. And to me, what's really more scary is that this person can go do this and not have no reprimands. Like, you know, faking your own death, first of all, is a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot in itself. Then doing what you're doing now, it's just like there's no like consequences for him. Why is none of his stuff banned? Why nothing? It's like why? Because he feeds that narrative that people like, you know, that anti-hate narrative.
No, awful like that. You don't want to get involved in that,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you're out of that and sort of yeah. But thank you for sharing that. That was very very interesting and crazy as anyway. But thank you for sharing that, and I'm hoping people now get to see your side of it a bit more. But let's move on.
Yeah.
So moving back on to like something a bit more positive, like Drag Race, and some questions from my subscribers other than Josh. So,
Mhm.
so someone said, I'd like to talk to you about your drag family. Some people don't know that you have a whole drag house and even a drag granddaughter named Diva Beverly Hills. And then actually, someone who you may know called Abigail actually commented on my Instagram story about questions for you. And the question was ask her if she loves her drag daughter, Abigail.
Yes, I love all my drag daughters. I do. I do, and I come from a big drag family back in the day. Don't really do drag now, but yeah, I have some babies here and there. But Abby is yeah, that's like my pride and joy. That's like basically me when I was younger, you know, to see her love drag. And she was a huge part of my package. You know, if it wasn't for her helping out, getting a lot of stuff ready for Drag Race, it would have been like, you know, a headache trying to find designers and trying to find this. She was very hands-on, you know. And I met my drag daughter when she was underage, you know. So that's how long I've known her. So to see her now come into a full-fledged, beautiful human being, it's rewarding, and to know that I've been part of that journey, it's just like, yes, I'm a proud trans mommy.
Oh no, I look. I actually, when she commented or like asked the question, I went onto her Instagram and looked, and I was like, she is stunning. Like it runs in the family. You're stunning. She's stunning. Like it
Yeah.
runs in the family.
Yes, yes,
Um.
yeah.
So another question was, someone wanted to know, who did you get the closest to from your season? So season 5 and season 8. Which queens did you get the closest to?
The closest to would it be, I can say Detox, Coco for season 5, Vivian Panay, she's not around no more. Vivian Panay and Roxy, but like Roxy was more like the big sister, like wear this, don't wear that. You're doing too much here, you're doing too much there. So I can say those from season 5. All Stars 8, um, Miss Kasha Davis. I love everything about Kasha. I love her, love her, love her, love her to death. And of course, my baby Kahana Montrese. That's my girl. And believe it or not, I was in love with this person after meeting them. And I love her to the day. I love everything she does. Is my Candy Muse. She's just pure entertainment. And the thing with Candy is that she is a big, 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 big sweetheart. And if it wasn't for her in All Stars 8, I think for me it would have been a little bit harder, because she was such a light, and she knows how to do Drag Race. I always tell her that you do Drag Race very well. A lot of girls can take notes from you. Like she plays it well. So I can say those were probably my closest. An All Star. I would say Naisha, but at that time I didn't like her. So no, 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 no. Naisha too. You know how long I know Naisha?
A
Naisha
while.
is sister, 20 something years. Naisha is the first person who painted me to do drag.
Oh, that's
So we
interesting.
go back way back, and we go way back to with Jay Sotomayor. We all did drag at the same time. So it was basically us young queens coming up, and we were like rivals. And then me and Naisha got close, and then me and Jade got close, and then Naisha and Jade still don't like each other, but that's a whole other story. You know.
Yes, yes, I've heard.
Yes.
I've talked about that on my channel as well.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so yeah, that's very interesting. And yeah, like I said, those queens that you mentioned were all right, amazing TV. And like Mrs. Kasha Davis, I've interviewed her; she's super sweet. And like Candy's great
Yes.
TV, regardless. I think people are quite mean about her, but she's great TV and sort of very funny. And I'm sure she's not like she is on camera. So it's yeah, people are different on camera than they are off. People forget that sometimes. You don't always have to agree with what people say and do, because they do sometimes do things you don't agree with. But at the end of the
Exactly.
day, it's more about, are they a good person? I don't know Candy, but she's very entertaining. I can say that.
Yes, she is.
So many people basically were saying about how amazing it was that you were on the show, and like, thank you for your bringing trans visibility to the show. Someone said, not a question, but I genuinely loved her when I was watching the season with my mum when it was aired. I always thought she was so gorgeous, and I was so excited for her to come back to All Stars. There's a lot of people saying that sort of thing, like just saying thank you basically for like bringing the visibility to, especially as a trans woman and things like that. Um, having a look at the other. There were so many questions. I had to like whittle them down. There were so many questions over Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Like there's so many questions, like hundreds and hundreds of questions. Another question was, would you ever do another All Stars?
To be honest, right now I have a full-time job. I work for a wonderful organization called Chicago House. I work with transgender and gender not confirming individuals to get them resources like medical and all that. And I find myself wanting to go back to school. Those are my passions right now. So I don't see myself doing any more drag. I had fun with it. It was great while it lasted. When it comes to Drag Race, I said to one of my girlfriends, that's like, the show's great. Don't get me wrong, the show's great, but you have to be like a drag. Like drag has to be your life to go on that show. If you don't eat, sleep, and breathe drag, then you shouldn't be there. You know, and for me, it was more like I wanted people, of course, like the whole trans community and whatever. But I felt like there's places for everybody, and that's not the place for me anymore. Like
So
I
are
don't
you
have enough energy
have you
to
quit
do
drag
like,
then? Are you saying you're no longer a drag queen?
oh yeah, no, no, no. I literally did a show like a couple of weeks ago, but it was for my trans mother's birthday, for a favor for her. But as of anybody else, I've had, people reach out to perform, and I know I'm done, completely done. I gave in 20 years to performing. It's like now is I'm excited to do other things, but besides doing drag. I mean, I love drag. I will love it to the day I die because it's something a part of my life. It will never not be, but just in a different capacity. I have a beautiful daughter who does drag well now. She can do it. Yes.
That's like you've passed the mantle, you've passed the torch down to like the next. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I can see that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there'll only be one Monica, but
That's true. That's true. Well, thank you. That's all the questions we've got time for. But I just want to do our final quick fire round of questions. It's just like five silly questions just to get like your quickest reaction, like your first thought about it. Okay. So, lipstick or lip gloss?
lip gloss.
Yes or no, pineapple on pizza?
No, hell no.
Favorite emoji?
No lie, the dollar sign. I mean, the money sign.
Cocktail or champagne?
Neither shots. I'm a shot girl. I can't do cocktails or champagne. I'm more of like, give me that tequila. I'm ready to go. Casamigos preferably.
And can you summarize your experience on Drag Race, both seasons, in one word?
Oh, duh. Everything I am. Iconic.
Monica, thank you so much. That's such a great word. I do think you were iconic. Your song was iconic. You were iconic. Like everything about you. You're such like a memorable queen, even though you were on the show for such a criminally short amount of time. You really made your mark. Where can people find you on social media and things? And do you have any projects or anything you want to kind of plug? Or is there anything specific you want to talk about?
Right now, I just got actually a couple days ago, I got approached to be a part of a podcast. Something I've been dying to do for a long time, and I haven't got around to it, but the offer sounds really amazing. So we're just gonna have a meeting and see where we can go from there. And it'll be based out of Chicago because I think Chicago's don't really have a lot of that. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I mean, social media. I hate to say this, but I don't know when it'll be very soon. I will not be on social media. I'll probably only have Instagram, and it'll only be based upon the stuff that I do with my organization and work. But yeah, I've gotten to the point where I like my away from social media time. Like when I work a lot and then I come home, I don't have time to do the stuff I used to do. And I feel like lately social media just gotten really negative. And I just, I'll post a little thirst trap here and there, but that's about it.
So what's your which social media, like your Instagram you said is your main, so what's your handle? What's the one you want people to like go to or
Oh
whatever?
yeah, it's Monica B Hills with a Z. Twitter, the same thing, Monica B Hills. Facebook, I won't say it because it's my personal legal Facebook, my legal name. But yeah, there's the only two places you can find me. Soon you'll only be able to find me on Instagram. So Twitter will be gone pretty soon. Twitter, I feel like all it is like politics and porn. It's a lot. it's it's too much.
True. Well, Monica, thank you
Yeah.
so much for being here. It was lovely speaking to you. You're such an entertaining person. Like you were so good on your seasons. I really enjoyed it, and it's been so lovely speaking to you. And like I'm really excited for this new chapter in your life that you had your time on Drag Race, you had your iconic, not a soul can clock moment and all that. And I'm glad to see that you're coming from a more healthy place now and like social media and all that kind of stuff. So it's
Yes.
lovely to see the kind of, it's not even the glow up, it's like the transformation into who you are, and that's what I've thought is just so lovely. So thank you so much for being here. It's been a treat speaking to you.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.